Because the top, where do they come from? They come from the bottom. They come from the people. And I think the greatest problem in the Ummah at the moment is where our hearts are. Because you may want to put a system in place, but if the hearts are not ready, you won't have a proper system. This is why Musa ibn Umair, when he went into Medina, the hearts of the people of Medina were ready to accept Islam. And then you had the pledge with the tribal leaders of Medina and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You understand the seerah, yeah, the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So one man went into Medina, a Sahaba, and he softened the hearts of the people in Medina, and they accepted Islam, many of them. And then after the leadership, they saw that the Ummah, the people were ready for Islam, and they adopted Islam as well. So from this part of history, we can understand two things. That we have to get our hearts right. The general masses, the awam, the general people, do our hearts, do they yearn for Allah? Do they love Allah? Do they love Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Do they love what Allah has told them to do? Okay? Like Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Ibrahim to kill his son. His son. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was going to do it. Because he didn't look at the action, he looked at the one who told him to do the action. Because sometimes when we look at Islam, we think, what does Islam teach us to do? What shall we do? Sometimes that is irrelevant. What we have to realize, did Allah say it? If Allah said it, then our hearts should be ready. Because we should be like Ibrahim alayhi salam and accept what Allah has to give us and offer to us, okay? So our hearts have to be ready to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once the general masses, their hearts are ready, then they'll be doing certain actions, okay? So at university, they could have intellectual discourse with, for example, the communists, yeah? Or other types of mushriks. Anybody, yeah? So,
you don't know,
right, communists are mushriks. From the aqidah point of view, it's mushrik. I'm not saying everybody who's a communist is a mushrik. I'm saying communism is shirk. If you study dialectic materialism, this is well, it's not sharia, is it? So the point is, you have an intellectual discourse on campus because you didn't know. Because you guys are the future intellectuals, the future thinkers. And we need to change the intellectual class in Turkey because the intellectual class in Turkey is not very Islamic. You know, very skeptic, agnostic, you know, little bit of bira, raka, talk poetry, and they think they're intellectual. Yeah, but they're not. So we need to change the intellectual class. And so you start by changing your hearts after being involved in this type of intellectual struggle. Because if you look at the first 13 years of the life of the Prophet ﷺ, it was an intellectual struggle. It's just, no matter how you see it, the Prophet ﷺ was calling for La ilaha illallah. There is no deity worthy of worship but Allah. So this was a big challenge to the Arabs, the mushrikeen of the society. It was a big challenge, economic challenge, spiritual challenge, theological challenge, and social challenge. And so there was a battle of ideas. The Quraysh would say something, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would rebuke them and say something else. There's this challenge. So you have to get your hearts ready and your minds ready to start this challenge. And then this is how the leadership is going to come. Because when the people of influence, of nusra, of influence, they're going to see the general masses, the businessmen, the politicians, the intellectuals, they all want Islam, then the influentials, for them to remain influential, they have to start thinking like you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So don't always look at the top thinking if they change, the whole world change. That's never going to work. You have to change. Allah says in the Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ. Indeed, Allah situation of the people until they change أنفسهم, what's within themselves. So change yourself, you change society. But that change is not only a heart change, it has to be an intellectual change, and your actions have to change. You have to do something now. Because Turkey, I believe, is in a very interesting historical juncture. Huge. Because you don't have a clergy class, you don't have a scholarly class, okay, like Saudi Arabia. You're fluid in your thinking. Secularism is slowly dying away, the hard secularism. People are starting to love Islam again. There is the two camps of the conservatives and the secularists, right? And you have the youth who are now practicing Islam. They're seeing Islam from the correct perspective, intellectual perspective, and they want to do something. But the only problem is they don't have leadership. There's no spiritual leadership in this country to take you where you need to go. It's going to come from you guys, though. And this is why it's very interesting times, as the Chinese say. It's a Chinese proverb, we live in interesting times. And it's true, for Turkey, we live in very interesting times. The economy is good. It's very good, much better than 10 years ago. Compared to 10 years ago, it's relatively better. I was here 10 years ago, and mashallah, Istanbul looks like New York, right? Ankara is very clean, nice cars, nice houses, right? You know, not many people are starving, okay? So from this perspective, the economy is better. Not great, but better. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to start changing the hearts now. And you need to start learning a religion. Because unfortunately, we don't have access to these type of thinkers to learn our religion properly. And you need to start taking your religion seriously. And not being scared of other ideas. SubhanAllah, there's a bunch of brothers here. You know, they wanted to go slowly outside, not in a group. Because they were scared of the communist gangsters. I was like, what is this? SubhanAllah, who do you fear, Allah or them? So I said, Yallah, get out, everybody. The point is, you need to be confident, because I think what the Turkish youth lack a bit is they need some confidence in the religion. They need some confidence and some passion. Like yesterday we spoke to over 1,000 people, and you see the love and the energy from the Turkish youth. Wallahi, it's amazing. You get it from, I've traveled the whole world. I haven't received so much energy and love from anybody apart from the Turks, yeah? Turks have big hearts, yeah? So you have to use that energy in the right way. And you have to learn how to articulate, speak about Islam in a correct manner, with rahmah, with muhabbat, with love, and with aql, and with hikmah. Once you learn how to do that, you're going to take over the world again.